Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our webinar and virtual launch of our new Milestone integration. We will start in just a couple of minutes. We're just waiting for the last few people to come through, so we'll just be a moment and then we'll start the webinar. Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Vicky Fink, and I look after the marketing for Impro. It's great to have so many people joining us today to go through this Milestone integration. We greatly appreciate that. Before we actually kick off on the main webinar, just a little bit of housekeeping for you. So we do record the webinars, and these will be made available probably in about a week's time. If you keep an eye on our social media, that's where we'll actually announce the webinars being available, and that'll enable you to then watch this on demand. So you won't actually have to book in to watch it. You'll be able to watch it at your leisure. So that you're aware, we have disabled all microphones for this session. So if you have any questions, please, you'll see there's a little grey tab saying questions. Type your questions in that bar. You can type your questions at any point through the webinar. No limit on when you can ask those questions. However, what we'll do is at the end of the session, we'll then go through those questions and give you feedback on those. If we aren't able to get to all of the questions, we will engage with you after the event. So we will make sure that you get the answers that you need on that. In addition, under the handouts panel, you'll see we have a bit of literature there. Again, you can download that at any point through the webinar. You'll find there's a data sheet on the Milestone integration, giving you more detail regarding that, as well as a catalogue of the full range of Impro products. In addition, at the very end of the webinar, a survey will pop up after the webinar, and we do ask you to take 2 minutes. I think there's about 5 quick questions on there, and it really does help us in terms of knowing the products or features that you need from Impro, as well as your feedback on this webinar. So we really do appreciate that. In addition, the following day, so tomorrow, you'll get an automated email saying thank you for attending the webinar. It will also have the same survey link in there. So if you complete the survey today, you don't need to do it tomorrow. It's simply an automated process, and it's unable to see whether you've answered the survey yet or not. So it's just a double option there. You can do it at the end of today's webinar. Alternatively, you click on the link when you receive the email tomorrow, and you can then do the survey then. And then also, if after this event you have any questions or queries, please don't hesitate to contact us. The quickest and easiest, we have 2 main methods. One is email, and the email address is up there, info@impro.net. Or alternatively, you can go to our website, and we have a live chat service on there so that you're able to quickly get the answers you need. So with that, thank you again for being with us, especially to some of our attendees who I know it's quite late in the evening for them. So thank you very much. Before we get into the milestone aspect, just wanted to give you a brief introduction on Impro for those that perhaps aren't aware of the business. It was actually founded over 30 years ago, back in 1986, and by 4 local entrepreneurs who were all Durban-based. One of them, I think, is very well renowned, Errol East, who was our MD up until a couple of years ago. And it was founded in Durban and then spread its wings both throughout South Africa and around the world. And one of the interesting things that I found when I joined the business was actually it was one of the first companies in the world to use RFID for access control. That pioneering spirit continues to this day. And back in 1994, the business was actually received the Exporter of the Year award for its growth into international markets. Then in 2000, a very well-known range of Impro's product, IXP, was launched. It remains a prime product to this day. I know many of the people on this call still utilize IXP, so really is built to last. Then in 2013, we came out with Access Portal, which is now the prime range that we develop on. So today's webinar about Milestone is about that integration into Access Portal. Since 2013, it's gone through many iterations, and the software is constantly being enhanced and new features and functionality brought in. I think we're sitting at about version 4.2 now, and that is available on our website. So if anyone wants to download either a free version of it or wants to get a licensed version, you're able to access that from our website. Then at the end of 2015, on the 31st of December, we actually became part of the ASSA Abloy Global Group. ASSA Abloy is a very massive entity represented with offices, I think it's around 70 countries, tens of thousands of employees around the world. And the benefit that brings to our business is the adoption of technology. So as the group develops massive new technologies and new products and offerings, we're able to quickly adopt that and adapt it to our specific needs. So it also makes us a lot faster to market in terms of the product offering. So there is Impro's journey. You can see founded 1986, and through the years there have been a number of highly innovative products that have come along the way. Some of these names many of you will have heard of: LinkScan, Multiscan, and then, as I mentioned, the IXP range, and now today Access Portal is the premium platform, and then also things such as Access in a Box, specifically for the small market, small little sites with a kit-based access control system. Today, we continue to maintain that pioneering spirit of spreading across the world, and we have representation through our distributors all the way from America, across the globe, down into Australasia. In terms of key focus areas, South Africa will always be our home base and is always our prime market. However, we have a concerted drive up into Africa as well as Europe, and that remains a very strong focus for us as we go through the year. In terms of the advantages that we're able to bring, I think there's a few of them. One is that we specialize only in access control. So we have over 30 years experience in developing access control solutions. That's borne out by the amount that we invest back into our R&D. So we have 31 full-time engineers in our Durban operation, and our head office remains based in Durban, and it's also where our manufacturing facility is. The benefit of that is that we have total control over our manufacturing process and are able to rapidly adopt and adjust according to market demand. So it gives us a lot of flexibility by being able to quite literally walk into the factory, chat to the factory manager, and prioritize getting the demand met. We also provide accredited training. I'm pleased to advise that we will be opening our training centres for in-class sessions later this month. Again, watch our social media. We'll be announcing that shortly. We're just busy in the process of setting up the necessary protocols to ensure everyone's safety when they come and do training in our classrooms. In addition, we have created online training and have a variety of webinars available to go through training. So if you're still a bit cautious about being in classroom, there is the opportunity to do training online. And again, that will be announced when those webinars and the facilities are available. Another big benefit of Impro, and I think many of you have experienced it, is our technical support division. We have guys there who are absolute experts on our products and are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for free online support. So no charge for that. And you can access them through email, phone, and then also the live chat on the website. So as I mentioned earlier, we do have a live chat facility, and we also provide that for our technical support. And then in South Africa, because it's our home base, we give a little something extra to our local market, and that's a no quibble warranty. So when we say no quibble, it is a genuine no quibble. As long as your product is in warranty, even if you've driven a truck over it, you bring it in and we'll swap it out immediately. No questions asked, no issue. So a lot of big benefits from using Impro, and thank you to those who have supported us for many, many years. Okay, so now we will go into the actual Milestone integration, and we will be presented to by Hamish Wilmot, who is the product manager at Impro. He looks after specifically the Access Portal software and the Impro products. So good morning, Hamish.
Good morning, Vicky, and thank you. Good morning to everyone out there. We're going to start with a very brief introduction to Milestone, and then we'll have a look at the benefits of integrating an access control system with a video management solution. We'll briefly look at tech specs, and then we'll actually demonstrate the integration in action. And after that, we'll have some time for questions and answers. So Milestone they design, develop, and produce an IP-based video management solution. And they were founded in 1998, and in a very short space of time, have become one of the most popular leading brands of video management solutions out there in the market today. They're represented in over 25 countries, and they've got more than 500,000 installations across the globe. One of the good things about Milestone is that they provide a true open platform called XProtect that allows for very tight integrations between the Milestone video management solution and other solutions such as our Access Portal access control. And the Milestone solution supports a wide range of cameras out there. So you may ask the question, why would you want to integrate the two systems? So in short, or in summary, you want to view critical information from both the video management system and the access control system in a single interface. Okay. If you just have a video management solution, there's so much video coming at you, so much footage. What do you turn your attention to? Well, that's where the access control helps, in that it pushes relevant events and activities that are happening, and pushes the footage related to those events to the people monitoring the system. This allows you to react to situations in a better way, and your speed of responses is improved. You also get a map view, so you can get an overview of the whole site and what's happening on it, and the location of the issues as they arrive, further enhancing your speed of response and visibility over the whole system. When you, with live monitoring, you can have features such as challenging the people that are tagging through an entrance, let's say you are looking at the video footage and comparing the faces of the people presenting tags against the image of the tag holder that pops up from the access control system at the time. And then you even have the ability to control gates and doors, locking them or unlocking them based on what you can see on the cameras, so as to be able to trap any wrongdoers or protect innocent people. And then, so that's some of the benefits of the live monitoring. One of the key ones is that the guards and security personnel become so much more efficient on site. So instead of having to, view reams and reams of footage, they can now, their focus is drawn to the key activities that are happening in the system, and so they can work far more efficiently. And because it's all in one interface, the workflows when responding to incidents are far easier to implement. Then because there's only one interface, the effort to train the operators is reduced. You've just got one interface and everyone learns the same interface. And then also looking back on incidents that have occurred, if you want to investigate them, because the access control events essentially act as an index overlaid on the video footage, you can quickly and easily find the footage that is relevant to the incident that you're investigating, and then the video footage then provides certain proof of the identity of the transgressors. So how do we get going with the access portal to Milestone integration? Well, apart from the obvious, where you need a Milestone video management solution and access portal running, and in fact, any one of the Milestone VMS tiers will work. So whether it's essential or one of the others, this integration works on all of them. And then the same thing with Access Portal on all of our tiers, Basic, Pro, Enterprise. Then what you also need is a Milestone integration license to enable the integration. And then from the, that's a portal license. And then on the Milestone side, you need the XProtect service, as well as the management client and the smart client. So the management client is what is used to configure the system. Typically, a system installer or site administrator will use it, and they will use it for pointing the access control system to the Milestone system and linking the two so that there can be a share of data between the two systems. It's also used for associating doors with cameras or cameras with doors, so that when an event occurs on a particular door, the cameras that are closest to that door are recording footage, etc. And then the last thing is to set up rules that allow for the linking of events in the access control system with actions in the video management solution, and vice versa. And then this typically happens, so the management client is to set up the system, to configure everything, and then once you've finished with that configuration, you typically don't go into the management client unless a change to the system is required. You spend most of your time in the smart client. So the smart client is used for the live monitoring, for alarm response, and it's used for investigating incidences that have occurred, and it would typically be used by your reception, your guards, your security management, investigating authorities, etc. So one might ask, well, I've got a video management solution. What role does the access control play in this integration? So for live video, the access control events provide focus. They focus the attention of the people using the system on important events, as opposed to just watching streams and streams of footage. And then looking back, when you're investigating incidents, then the access control events, you can imagine them as an index, so you can very quickly find footage for a particular door, or footage associated to a particular person, or you can even look for footage associated with a particular event type. So let's say you want to look at footage associated with blacklisted tags. So any blacklisted tags, events, where people are presenting blacklisted tags, you can see the associated footage and investigate. So setting up the integration, as I've said, it happens in the management client. And this is where we link the access control system to the video management solution for the pass of information between the two. We also associate doors with cameras, and we associate rules with events and event types. So let's take a quick look at how that works. So I'm just going to pause it right there so that we can just take a look around at the management client. So on the far left, you'll see this main menu, the site navigation menu, and there are many options in here. The access control option is highlighted at the moment, and that shows in the submenu here. And at the moment, we've only got one item in our submenu because we are still configuring the access control integration at the moment. So on configuring the access control integration, on clicking on that blue highlighted item there, you will get this pop-up here, and the pop-up pops up automatically, and you start by entering the access portal instance. So in this case, it would be Impro demo. Then below that, you need to select the integration plugin, and that is Impro Portal Access Control System. That's the one that you need to look for, and that will be auto-populated in this list. You don't have to do anything. You will find it. It'll be there in that list. Then also auto-populated will be the host, the port number, and the username, as well as the checkbox for the secure API. All you really have to do is fill in the password to continue. Just a little word on the secure API. This is the portal API, and it comes in two modes, or it can be used in two modes: an unsecure mode, where none of the communication between the two systems is going to be encrypted. And this is not recommended. It's a security problem. And then it's better to use the paid for secure API, where all of the data passing between the two systems is encrypted. All right, let's go. So we enter a password, and then just pause there again so that you can see it's collected all the configuration data: 5 doors, 10 units, a server, 502 events, some commands, and some states. And then let's pause again so that we can look at this step in the wizard. We are able to associate cameras with doors. So you've got the doors on the left-hand side, and we've got 5 of them: main entry, and then quick doors 1 to 4. And then on the right-hand side are your cameras. And for this demo, we've just got the one, the Dohua there. And then it's as simple as dragging and dropping to associate the camera with the door. So there, let's go back to that. In one click, we were able to associate the Dohua camera with the main entry in door. And then we basically configured the system. And then just to take a, let's just go back there. And then just to take a look at what we have configured, you'll see at the bottom of your screen over here, you'll see a number of tabs. On the General Settings tab, you will see the information that was used to link the two systems together. You are not running with these videos, eh? Let's go back there. Okay, then clicking on the doors and associated cameras will give you, will show you the doors as well as the cameras, and then the associations between them. Then you can also see all 502 access events that have been pulled through from the access control system into the integration client. And then we've got all our tag holders. We've just got the one here for our demo, but typically that would be populated with all of the card holders that have come through from your access control system. All right. Then the next part of configuring the integration is to set up an event. And I'm just going to pause it there again. Is to set up the rules that link the events to actions. Okay. And again, on the main menu in the site navigation pane, we've selected rules under rules and events. And then we have chosen to add a rule, add a new rule. And when that happens, you get this pop-up over here with the title Manage Rule. Okay, so you can type in the name of the rule, record on denied section. You can choose to add a description in there. And then you've got a choice of different events types. So you can choose to perform an action on an event. You can choose to perform an action in a certain time or perform an action on a recurring event. And then the bottom part of this pane shows you the rule description. So as you compile the rule, so this populates with more and more detail, and it has hyperlinks which allow you to configure that detail. So we'll see that. So we're going to select the event that we want to the rule to implement and be triggered by. And there's a bunch of events there. We want to select the access control denied event. There we go. And now that appears in the rule below. Now we want to choose the source from which that access control event must come. And we choose the main entrance. So now that event is going to occur on the main entry. And now we are able to set up a list of conditions to add to the rule. So we've got things like within the selected time, outside of the selected time, within a time period, days of the week, etc. So we've got more control over the event that is going to trigger our rule. So for this demo, we just chose all of the days of the week. And then we can choose the actions that need to take place as a result of this event occurring. So we're going to choose to start recording on the event. And now we want to select the device which is going to start the recording. And we choose our Dahua camera. And then we need to choose a stopping action. So what is going to stop the recording? So you can choose to select an event to stop the recording, which will show here, but we're actually going to choose to just stop the action after 5 seconds, the time stopping criteria. And then there are further actions that you can do, but for the sake of this demo, we have finished compiling our rule, and then you just do as many of those as you need to configure your site, and then we are basically complete with the setup of the integration. And now you can can start to use it. So now we so we've been working in the management client, the Exprotech management client. Now we turn our focus to the other client, the smart client. And in the smart client, one of the things that you do is you use it for live monitoring. Okay, so we've got a map display, we can handle alarms, we can open and close doors, and we use it for monitoring gates and doors around the site. So let's take a bit of a closer look at that functionality. I'm going to pause it again right here so that we can just take a look around in the smart client. So you'll see that you've got some tabs at the top here: live, playback, search, alarm manager, etc., access control. And then the main view is split into several smaller screens. And one can choose to drag and drop whatever content you want into these screens so that you can set this up in the way that you want it. So for the sake of the demo, we have chosen to drag and drop an instance of the Access Portal Access Control dashboard into the top left division of the screen. And in the top right, we've got the map view showing cameras and doors overlaid on the map. And then on the bottom left, we have, you can choose to just drag in a camera, and then you'll just see this view here, which is the camera footage. And then you can choose to, instead of dragging in a camera, you can choose to drag in an access control camera point, which would then look like the one next to it, where you can see the footage. And then on the right of the footage, you can also see the the door and the access control events coming through. So let's keep going there. So you might have just noticed that a live transaction came through from our cardholder, and you will see that, I don't know if it's easy to see, but you should be able to see that there's a loud normal event that is superimposed on the footage in the camera view of both of them, and then the transaction also appears on the right-hand side here. Okay. And then I think, yeah, you can click on the event here and you can actually see the recording of that footage as well if you want. Okay. Then we can also look at alarms. So for starters, I just want to pause and draw your attention to the bottom center of the screen. You can see there's a lock and unlock associated with the main entry door. So because we dragged and dropped an access control camera point, we're actually able to lock or unlock that main entry door, giving us control over the doors from within our control center or control room. All right, and then the next thing we're going to do is we are going to generate on the main entry door, we're going to generate an anti-tamper alarm, which will be coming through shortly. Just move your camera. Here we go. So you should be able to see anti-tamper event has been superimposed on the footage and also on the screen. And then what you'll see in the map view is that you're getting a red circle flashing over the camera that is related to that has been associated with the door on which that anti-tamper alarm occurred. All right, so a little bit more on alarm management. If I can just pause there, we are going to move to the alarm manager tab. And then having a look at the screen layout, we've got our map view at the top here. And then we've got a large space over here where all your alarm transactions come through. So we are going to generate an alarm transaction. Okay, when you click on one of, you can see the alarm transactions in the background here, but when you click on one of them, this dynamic view loads, as well as the camera feed or footage and the details of the alarm on the far right. So the dynamic view, you can actually just set that to play in a separate screen, on a different screen, so that whenever alarms pop up, that screen is dedicated to the dynamic view of what's happening, or the dynamic footage, what's happening there. And then I just want to take you back to that. It's very quick in this video, but you'll see that you've got a number of actions that you can take on the selected alarm, and that's how you manage your alarms. We're going to acknowledge that. And then I also want to draw your attention to the flashing red circle over the camera that's associated with the alarms that have occurred. And then we click on the second alarm transaction, and we can acknowledge that. And then once all your alarms are acknowledged, the map goes back to a static position, but there's nothing new to report. So we've gone through all of the live view activities that you can do in the Expertech Smart Client, and now we need to look at investigations, what has happened in the past. This also happens in the Smart Client, and here you want to review activity associated with a particular person, or you want to view activity on a particular door, or you want to review activity associated with a particular event type. So let's take a look at how that happens. So I'm going to pause again. Now we are in the Access Control tab within the Smart Client, and you've got on the left-hand side here, you've got a list view where all of the events or transactions coming through from the access control system are listed. And then on the right-hand side is the playback video and the details below it of the transaction or event that you are inspecting at the time. So let's have a look at how this works. I also wanted to just draw your attention to you've got three tabs at the top here. You've got events, you've got doors, and you've got card holders. So you can select a door and then view the footage associated with the door, or you can select a card holder, choose your card holder, and then view the events associated with that card holder. So when I click on that, the events associated with our card holder pop up, and we can scroll through those events and select them to view the footage related to that card holder. Then taking a closer look at event filters, we're still on the Access Control tab, and if we look, we've got all of these access control events that have come through from the access control system, and it's a lot. You know, you can imagine with days and months and years of footage, there's so much to look at, and from several cameras, there's just so much to look at. So the ability to filter the events is very powerful. For starters, you can filter by time, so we've chosen today, and then you've got all these event types that you can filter by, and you can set more up as you choose. It's part of the setup process of the integration. So access denied, access granted, alarm, door error, etc. So you've got all of these, and you can choose which of the events that you particularly want to focus on. All right, so in summary, a video management solution is powerful on its own. An access control system is also powerful on its own. But I think you'll agree that both systems, when integrated together, they enhance each other. Access control events create focus on the important footage coming through, allowing fewer operators to man far more access points across a greater area. Response times are reduced and security is improved. Investigations are much easier to conduct, with access control events allowing the investigator to quickly find and view the relevant footage. One can even use integration for non-security related issues. Take, for instance, a very current issue, COVID-19. Let's say you've got a COVID-19 patient that has been on site and you need to track and trace the path that that patient took through your site, see who they came into contact with, etc. That's simple and easy to do with the tools available in the Milestone to Access portal integration. It's simple and easy to configure. You simply, with a few clicks, you can point the two systems to each other so that they can pass information between each other. Dragging and dropping is all you need in order to associate cameras with doors. There's a very easy to use and intuitive rule wizard to make the linking of events with actions super easy. And then all of this is served up through a single interface. This easy to use integration between two leading brands is available today. Thank you all. I'm going to hand back to Vicky.
Thank you, Hamish. A nice overview there, so thank you very much. So, as you can see, we have some good news. So as part of the launch efforts around this new Milestone integration, we're pleased to advise that anybody purchasing the integration license will get 5,000 Rand off that price, and that's valid until the end of December. So if you've been contemplating using this integration or you have opportunities where you can use this, you're getting 5,000 Rand off until the end of the year. And to take advantage of that, just get hold of your local distributor. That discount will be passed straight on to you. Hamish, if we could go to the next slide, please. Okay, so thank you for the questions that are coming through. We'll now go into the Q&A session. If you do have questions, you can still type those in to the question block, and we will be pulling those up as we chat. I see there's quite a few coming through, so thank you for that. Okay, so I also have Joe Stradum on the line, who's from our projects engineering division. So between Hamish and Joe, they will be assisting in answering these questions. Okay, so the first question here, how do I purchase the integration license? Thankfully, that's one I can answer. It's through our distribution channel. So please just get hold of your local Impro distributor and they will be able to provide you with that license. If you're not sure where your local distributor is, if you go to our website, impro.net, and go to contact us, you'll see there is a page that shows a listing of all the different distributors. We've had quite an expansion of our distribution network in South Africa, so I'm almost certain there will be someone close to you through that network. Another question we have here, and maybe Hamish, I can ask you, if someone purchases a license, do they need one for each of our sites using Milestone? So by the sounds of it, multiple sites using Milestone, do they need a license per site?
Vicky, the answer is no. So the license is system-wide. So you purchase one license and that applies the license to all of your sites.
Okay, great. Then another one here is, do you need an Access Portal Enterprise license, or can you use this integration with a Pro license?
Maybe I can fill that one as well, Vicky. So once you purchase the integration license, it works with any tier of Access Portal. So that's Basic, Pro, or Enterprise.
Okay, fantastic. So even the free version, if I purchase that integration license, I can use it.
That's right. just one thing to be aware of, on Access Portal Basic, the API is unsecured. So if you want the secured API, that would be an extra license. The secured API is comes as standard on Access Portal Enterprise.
Okay, great. So additional security, end-to-end encryption. You've got to look at a Pro or an Enterprise license for that enhanced security. Okay, will Impro support me in setting up my Milestone? I can answer that one for you. No, we are not specialists in Milestone. So if you have a Milestone system and you need to set that up, you would have to go to your Milestone reseller for that assistance. However, when it comes to the Access Portal integration, yes, our support division is there to assist you in setting that up. Okay, another great question here. Is this a once-off license or do I have to pay every year?
Vicky, maybe I can field that one as well. So right now it's a once-off license. It could be that we will start to offer a subscription license as well, at obviously a reduced annual rate. But for now, it's a once-off license.
Fantastic, thank you. Okay, are there any limits on the number of cameras that can be used on this integration? So if I have a very large site, multiple cameras, is there a limit to how many cameras are allowed with the Access Portal license?
So Vicky, just to answer you there, the number of cameras that can be associated with doors, and also the number of operators that can use this integration is not limited from the Access Portal side. So Access Portal does not place any limits on how you use the integration.
Okay, so I'm assuming, I must be honest, I don't know Milestone in depth, but I'm assuming any limits that are applied by Milestone, those would be the rule set in terms of this integration.
Yes, so you know, I can't talk to the limits that are applied by Milestone, but certainly from the Access Portal side, no limits are applied. So if there are any limits, they would be from the Milestone side.
Okay, great. And then, okay, question here, what other products are integrated with Access Portal? Is there other CCTV software if we're not using Milestone? The quickest way to assist you with that is if you actually go to our website. So we're constantly undertaking integrations with different products, from third-party readers to different software suites, etc., and different services. So if you go to our website and go to impro.net/products, you will see there actually is an integration option there. You can click on that and it provides information on the current integrations that have been concluded. As new integrations happen, that will get loaded into there. So that's probably the easiest place to answer that question. So that's impro.net/products. Then Hamish, also someone has asked here, they're not using Milestone. Will this integration work on my existing system? So they're not using the Milestone software, obviously some other software. Will this integration work?
So this integration, if I understand the question correctly, this integration is between Milestone and Portal. So you would need to be using the Milestone software with Access Portal to get the benefits of this integration.
Okay, great. Ooh, very nice question here. Thank you. If I want to run a report, do I get that from Milestone? And will it have the access control reports, such as when people entered and where? So do I go into Milestone for my reporting? Do I go into Access Portal for my reporting?
So I'm going to field that one as well, Vicky. So I don't know if you remember in the smart client that I showed, you've got the screen divided up into sub-screens, and then one of those sub-screens was actually the Access Portal dashboard. So you can still you can open up a second Access Portal screen if you have the space for it. But certainly all of the access control reports are available through that same smart client interface.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay. Then a question around whether we plan to integrate with other systems in the future. So today we happen to be talking about Milestone. We do have a couple of other ones that we've done. Is there a plan to expand our integrations with other VMS systems?
Yes, so we will. We haven't chosen a sort of a series of particular brands that we are going to integrate with, but the intention is to integrate with other video management solutions, and we will sort of, depending on the demand related to those video management solutions, that will guide us as to which ones to prioritize over others.
Okay, so one of the questions I know I do have in the survey at the end of this webinar is whether you would like any other products, features, etc., integrated with Access Portal. So for those that have asked that question, I see a couple of you have asked a similar question. I would suggest putting that in as one of those survey points. It does enable you to have a voice in terms of our product roadmap. That market demand will decide which systems we use where. So please do fill in that survey. Okay, we will have one last question, and not sure if the guys will be able to answer it. If they can't, we will come back to you. It's regarding whether Access Portal integration will work if the site is set to a different language. So if, for example, I have Milestone running in French, will that Access Portal integration be translated? Is it done now? Is it going to be done in the future? Is there a widget? So guys, I'm not sure if either Doe or Hamish is able to answer that on the spot.
I can sort of answer that. Good day, everyone. Hi,
Vicky.
Vicky. So the integration will still work. The information would just be in English anyway, as it takes the events as what Portal's database is configured as. So yes, it will work. Milestone will all feature the translated information except for the information from Access Portal. Transactions will be English, events will be English.
Wonderful, thank you. Okay, I'm going to leave questions there. I don't want to run over time. You will see that there's Q&A and then lucky draw. So I will get into the lucky draw in just a moment. Again, you'll also see on the screen, if you have any inquiries or questions, want any information from us, our email address is there. It's info@impro.net, or you can go to the live chat on the website. We do have different staff from different areas of the business to assist you. That operates during South African work hours, so 8 till 5, Monday to Friday. However, if you go in after hours, you can actually post a question in there, and the guys will then respond the next morning over email. So you have two methods there. So in terms of the lucky draw, we had planned to do one draw for one person to get 20% off. However, our product team is feeling very generous. So what we've actually decided to do is that everybody who is an attendee of this session will actually receive 20% off that integration license. And that is until the end of October. So until the end of October, every one of you that has attended, you will get 20% off this integration license. In addition, we are going to do a draw now where we will give 50% off to one lucky individual on the call today. So if you would bear with me for a moment as I do a jiggle of all these names, and this goes to, okay, first name drawn out, ironic, not going to happen. It's actually Derek from Impro. So we'll do another draw. Sorry about that. Should have taken the Impro people out. Okay, so the next lucky winner getting 50% off the license fee is Leon Bezadenhout. Leon from Nextech. I am assuming you are on the call. Yes. So congratulations. You have a 50% off voucher on that integration license, and our sales guys will be in touch with you to see if you'd like to take that up and when you'd like to take that up. We're happy to carry that 50% off for you until the end of December. Everybody else on the call, you get the 20% off, and that's valid until the end of October. Everybody, thank you very much for coming through. I see there are quite a few questions we didn't get to. However, we will engage with you after this event. And then please do keep an eye on our social media. As I mentioned at the beginning of this session, we will make this available as an on-demand webinar, so you can go and view it at your leisure. And that'll be announced on social media once it's available. Otherwise, may you have a great rest of your day or evening for some of our people who've joined us in the night. Thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing you again at one of our next webinars. Thank you, everybody.